Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Helene Curtis, makers of Stopette, Suave, and Shampoo Plus Egg. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And now it's a pleasure to welcome back from Hollywood, where he's been picture making, Martin Gabel.
On my left, the woman that bears my name, Miss Arlene Francis. Gabel.
Good evening, Mr. Gabel. And now a gentleman who has published the #1 bestseller of this year, Don Whitehead's FBI story, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of this corner, weighing 163 3/4, wearing the purple trunks, the fireball from Boston University, John Spike Daly.
Purple trunks. Boston College, Bennett. Get me in trouble. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. The panel is in a happy mood tonight, as you heard. We'd like them to stay happy all through the show, but perhaps we can give them a little trouble in the next 30 minutes. We'll also have a famous guest before our experts a little bit later on in the show, but we'll meet our first challenger in just 1 minute. Let's meet our first contestant. Will you come in and sign in, please? J.E. Reagan. Is that right, sir? The J stands for?
Joseph.
Joseph E. Reagan. And where are you from, sir?
Plainfield, Illinois.
Plainfield, Illinois. Mr. Reagan, the panel. Mr. Reagan, will you join me over here, sir? Do you know how we keep score?
Yes, I do.
Fine, then let's let everybody here and about, except our friends on the panel, know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we'll tell you that Mr. Reagan is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Reagan, do you by any chance work for a non-profit-making organization?
That's right.
Is there anything punitive or disciplinary about what you do?
Yes, it is.
Do you have anything to do with the law or keeping the law or the peace?
Yes, I do.
Are you higher than a sergeant?
Pardon?
Are you higher than a sergeant? Do you ever work out of uniform? May I put it that way?
I don't work in uniform, no.
You work
Works out of the uniform.
in ordinary clothes such as you're wearing now?
Mm-hmm. Let me have a small conference here. That's right, Dorothy.
Well, do you have anything to do with any police department?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is your work done with children as well as with adults?
No, it isn't.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Are people not so glad to see you?
I'm
Except
sure,
for your family and friends, of course.
I think some of them are.
Uh-huh.
I would say this, Miss Arlene. I think we will agree that in the main, you might describe the people who, in a professional way, might come in contact with our guest as not too happy to make his acquaintance.
Are you ever in or around a jail?
A jail? Yes.
Do you have charge of any of the inmates in the jail?
Yes.
Would you be a warden of a
Yes.
jail? Are you Warden Reagan that I used to know when I was locked up? I knew I remembered your face from somewhere, Warden.
Now, actually, on a technicality, we would say that it's Joliet Prison that Mr.
Joliet.
Reagan is warden of, and I think that he very properly can be extremely proud of the work he's done in this field. I think, sir, if I am not embarrassing you, that a good many of our states have asked you to come and help make their prison systems fairer and more efficient, haven't they?
That's right, 18.
18 states. He's made out of Joliet.
Warden, isn't Loeb in your prison?
Leopold.
Leopold, I mean.
Yes.
Leopold's there now, isn't he?
Well, I must say this, that first thing is that Warden Reagan asked that any money he won tonight go to the boys' clubs of the Salvation Army, so we'll flip all the cards just as a starter. But he said they're going to get me very quickly, John. I'm afraid of it. And I said, I don't think so. Yes, Dorothy?
He just looks as though he would be capable of handling very tough customers very well.
On that happy note, sir, would you like to meet the panel personally? All right.
Quote the Reagan, nevermore.
Beg your pardon? What did you say, Bennett?
I said his motto ought to be, quoth the Reagan, nevermore.
He's ashamed, he said.
I'm looking down.
Too bad he can't get right under the... Well, never mind. But actually, I would say this. This is a very fine story of an American doing a fine job, and it's in a book, Warden Reagan of Joliet, I believe, isn't it?
That's right.
And so that if you have an interest in this area or want to learn more about the tough job that this man has, there's something that you can do is get the book. Thank you very much for being our guest. Well, that one didn't give you much trouble. I'm in a very salubrious mood this evening, however, so we'll give you another chance to be brilliant again. I think this one will give you no trouble at all. Just run all the way through, that's all. Will our next one come in and sign in, please, right there. Joseph Genova, is that right? Mr. Genova, where are you from?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri. Fine. You've nodded to the panel. Will you join me? Do you know how we keep score? All right, then let's let the folks here and those at home know exactly what your line is. Panel, Mr. Genova is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Martin Gabel.
Mr. Genova, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a product connected with what you do?
Yes.
Is it something that I might use? Yes. Has it anything to do with what some people might call a physical disability?
No, I don't think you would describe it necessarily as having something to do with a physical disability. However, I will leave it to Mr. Genova. If you want to give it a qualified yes, you may.
Well, maybe on it.
Maybe? All right. You go ahead then, Mr.
I know
Gabel.
how strict you are, John, in the usage of language. Nevertheless, it might be so. Has it something to do with, say, having too little hair?
Having too little hair?
Too little hair, Don.
No.
No. That makes it 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
My only disability.
True. Mr. Genova, do you, this product that you deal with, has it ever been alive?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Genova, this product with which you're connected, is it visible when worn or applied?
When worn or applied. Well, Bennett, this is so broad that actually it would be difficult to give you anything but a yes answer to it, because no matter what it might be, worn or applied, there is a period when it could be visible. There might be another period when it's not.
Let me simplify the question for Mr. Genova. Is the product worn or applied?
No. That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, does it ever come in contact with the human person
Yes.
of both sexes?
Yes.
In other words, I could use this product as well as Martin could?
You could.
But it isn't worn or applied. Is it something you pick up? Or could you pick it up?
You could.
You wouldn't have to be strong to pick it up.
No.
Would something special happen if you picked it up?
I mean, the process of picking it up.
Or after you had picked it up?
No, I think we have to give you a no on that, Dorothy. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is it sometimes not visible when worn? If worn, which it isn't worn.
Just on the assumption which the question proposes of wearing, I'm going to give you a no, Martin. I think you'll
quite agree,
understand
sir.
why later. 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Now, since you laughed a little when Dorothy said, is it possible to pick it up or would it be difficult, may I assume by that it's something very easy and light in weight?
It is.
It's very light in weight. Does it, would it be as light as a feather?
What feather did you have in mind?
A large one on an ostrich. No?
Even with the ostrich, I think we can safely give a no. Don't you think so, Mr. Genova? That makes it 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Genova, if your product is neither worn nor applied, might it be eaten or imbibed in some way, taken internally?
It would.
It is, eh? Is it a solid? Is it medicinal?
No, it could be so described, yes.
Did any part of this product ever grow naturally?
Yes.
Yes. Would there be any grain or fruit in this product?
Wait a minute. Bennett, we are going to give you a no answer. However, I give it to you subject to recalling the answer should we be proved incorrect. That'll do next week. That'll be all right, won't it? That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Does this come in either pill, tablet, or powder form?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I just have to decide which one. Is this something that would be found in many American homes?
I think it would be fair to assume that it is not beyond possibility that a substantial number of homes might at one time or another.
Well, would they be more likely to have it at one time than just all the time? I mean, is it sort of a specific rather than something you'd keep around all the time like aspirin or something?
Well, I would say that a carefully managed home, if it had a need for it, would have it around most of the time. That would make it 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Gabel.
May I call a consultation for a minute before? 'Cause it won't
30
come to me.
seconds for a consultation.
Martin, I have an idea this might be something like rat powder or something. Find out whether other than human beings imbibe it.
I think it has to do with hangovers.
All right, I've spoken.
Well, I always respect Bennett's lurid imagination. Is there anything about this product that you deal with, sir, that has anything to do with rats?
Thank you, Martin. 9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
What rat did you have in mind?
I'm just eager to please, Arlene, as you know.
Is it something that one might take if one felt badly?
Yes, yes.
Would it be in the bromoseltzer, Alka-Seltzer family that sort of pick up a corrective of that sort?
It is.
Broadly speaking, we would say it would be in the family of pickup or corrective, yeah. I'm just so unknowledgeable in this area that I find myself...
Is it? Well, since it's something you are unfamiliar with, John, may I ask if anybody would take it, if they had, if you'll pardon the expression, a hangover?
Yeah. The product is a hangover remedy. Now, what does Mr. Genova have to do with it?
Well, I hope he takes it. He prepares it?
Prepares it is wrong. That makes it $10 and no more. Mr. Genova sells it. Actually, it is a hangover remedy. It's made by the Lansdale Pharmaceutical Company in Kansas City. Is not now widely distributed, which is why I give you this detail.
Oh.
It's known as KL8. But I understand that Mr. Genova and his employers have some very lively expectations that the future is bright. Thank you very much, Mr. Genova, for being our
John,
guest.
there's no need to say any of this.
I'm sorry, Martin, I didn't hear you.
It was quite all right. There's no need to send any of this to anybody here.
All right, won't do it. No, I know. Actually, I just spent the weekend at that wonderful place called Louisville at the Derby, and had a grand time. I think there you could have used a little of this. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just... And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which I ask my friends on the panel once again to blindfold themselves, or rather for the first time tonight. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes,
Yes.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Well, as you know, in the case of the mystery celebrity, we'll change the form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and let's begin it with Bennett Cerf.
Well, when the audience recognizes somebody before they even sign in, it usually means somebody in the entertainment world. Are we correct in assuming that?
Yes, that's completely correct.
I didn't hear that.
You said that was completely correct, Bennett.
Oh, did he?
Miss Kilgallen?
Could you be described as a comedian?
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon.
What was that?
Tell you what, I can get this all straightened out. Miss Kilgallen wanted to know if you could be described as a comedian.
I've surely been both. I've surely been both sort of any kind of sort of other thing.
The answer is yes, could be described as a comedian. Mr. Gabel?
Are you now appearing in a nightclub in New York?
No, I certainly wish I was, believe it or not.
1 out of 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Goodness. Well, are you younger than Gabby Hayes?
There have been doubts. I am much younger, I think. A little bit younger than Gabby. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cerf?
I wish the mystery guest had put his teeth back in. Are you a moving picture star by any chance?
Really worked an awful long time in it.
I can't understand.
I've been in pictures, this. It's been dim sort of several times.
The answer is yes. Miss Kilgallen?
Oh, gosh. Is he talking through a comb with tissue paper around it? That's not an official question. I just wondered.
No, I'll answer on a point of information. He's just talking through his teeth.
Where are his teeth?
He is in the movies. Have you also appeared on television?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I've appeared on television.
Have you red hair?
No, I haven't any really.
$2 and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
But it is a man.
Yes, I think so.
I guess I'll have to count that a question,
I'm
Bennett.
afraid so. Mr. Cerf?
Have you any hair?
It's falling out.
But the fact that there's some to fall means there is some hair.
There's hair there.
Yes, indeed.
Right. You're sort of...
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you...
Beg pardon?
Are you really a very attractive leading man?
I think this is a question which is best answered in this way.
I should take my mask off and look?
No. The talents which our guest has demonstrated would not suggest to you in this form of questioning that you should concentrate on the concept of a very handsome leading man. He has a very
Don't
broad...
tell him.
Okay, I get it.
No, we give you a no. That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Are you on a regular television show?
I beg your pardon? I
One
can't
of
hear
them.
you. Can't understand you.
Is that a no, John?
What?
Mr. Gabel asked you, are you on a regular television program?
No.
That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
You are a comedian. You are not a leading man.
No,
Would you
it
be
was
considered
not-
what?
It was not specifically
I
said he
am
was not a
leading
lead.
He plays the lead, but not the
Oh.
Grant sense.
Oh, you play the lead, but not in a Cary Grant sense, my husband said.
Oh,
I don't know
played
what...
a lot of chess like that.
And he said...
I've been beaten 11-0 in those kind of sets.
Well, are you with any particular studio?
No, not in any studio.
No, that's
right
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Would you say that you were shorter than average height?
Why really ask a question like that? Well, I'm not as tall as other fellas.
Miss Kilgallen?
Were you ever in a picture with Judy Garland?
Of course, you know who I am.
Say it.
Well, I don't know. I just thought of Mickey Rooney suddenly.
That's right. And now, Mickey, now that they're completely unblindfolded, will you talk to them again the way you were so you can see how it's done?
Well, I just wanted to tell you.
Thank you very much for having had me here. Thanks,
Mickey,
John.
thanks.
Very kindly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having had me on your program. And incidentally, I hope that you will watch, all of you, the George M. Cohan story for Swift and Company on Saturday night, May the 11th. Because we're going to be doing our best on I shouldn't mention the network, but the initials are NBC.
Oh, well, as long as you don't mention it out loud, Mickey, that'd be fine. Good to see you. Wow. Actually, that moves me to share a joke with you. I think many of you probably read about the Kentucky Derby. We were coming home from it today with Toots Shor and some of his friends, and Frank Kniff said, "Did you hear about Shoemaker? After the race yesterday, you know, when he pulled up the horse and lost the race as a result, he took a shower, and then went and caught a plane and went to the coast. So Kniff got on the plane this morning and said, "Did you hear about Shoemaker?" And he said, "No, what happened?" He said, "He got off at Albuquerque." Now, although we never like to see any of our regulars go away from us, and Martin Gabel is coming to assume almost that same position, and Martin and his good
John.
bride, Miss Arlene, are going away next week. They're going down to Nassau for a rest, which they both richly deserve, and we're going to have on the panel Greer Garson and Walter Pidgeon, whom you all remember. They made 6 pictures together. We're a wonderful acting team, and we'll have a chance next Sunday to see if they are also a wonderful team on What's My Line. Until next week, then, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And I happen to know that Nassau is where Bennett wooed Phyllis, so happy second honeymoon to both of you.
Thank you, Dorothy. See you later, Arlene.
You know it, boy.
Have a nice time here next week, Greer. And good night, Bennett.
Have fun, Arlene. Good night, Spike.
Huh? Purple trunks. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Travel arrangements on What's My Line are made through American Airlines. American Airlines flies our contestants in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagships. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.